Hi all and welcome back to the Law of Attraction podcast. I'm Laura, the founder of Law of Attraction Life Coaching, and I am a life coach, author, and Law of Attraction mentor. I specialize in anxiety and depression and life-changing techniques that change you into what you've always dreamed of. Now, if you haven't seen already, I have got a webinar coming up at the end of March. You can access that via the Facebook page. And I also released a new meditation this week as well, which is a Heal Your Inner Child meditation. And I've already had some really interesting comments back from people that have used it. So please have a listen. Get in touch, tell me what you felt, tell me whether you met your inner child, tell me what you feel whilst you're doing my meditations. I love to hear from you all and I love to hear your comments. So let's get started for today. I just got off the phone to one of my clients and I wanted to talk to you about relationships. I was just having a chat to her about her life and some of the things that are going on, and a lot of it actually had to do with relationships. So I wanted to do a podcast about my take on relationships and actually how you can get the best out of the loves that you have in your life. So one of the social trends that I've seen of late, and also something that seems to come with a narcissistic culture that we're living in at the moment, is that people are using relationships to validate themselves. I mean, I'm sure this has been an age-old thing, but you feel bad about yourself, and so you have a relationship with somebody, possibly a one-night stand, and this leads to you feeling temporarily better about yourself. But if you listen to my other podcasts, you know what I think about instant gratification. And if you're not sure, go back and have a listen to my podcast from a few weeks ago. It is called Instant Gratification is the Road to Hell. So if you can't get from the title my thoughts, feel free to go back and listen. So why do we do this? Why, as intellectual beings, do we actively partake in damaging relationships to ensure that we feel temporarily good about ourselves? Well, it all comes down to a lack of self-esteem and a lack of self-respect. If you don't love yourself, you are much more likely to go out and be in a bad relationship, one that is unfulfilling, that is wrong for you, and doesn't actually make you feel good about yourself. And this is a really sad thing, and it's really common. So if you are doing this, please don't berate yourself or feel bad about it. Everybody does this at some point in their life. I mean, I know I have been in damaging relationships, and I'm really happy to say that I got out of it. So that's the point. How do we get out of this? Well, I am not necessarily saying that you dump your partner now and run off to live in Tibet and focus on improving yourself. Not that that would be such a bad idea. But something that we need to do is to work on ourselves and work on our self-esteem. A lot of the self-fulfilling prophecies that we have inside our minds are really negative ones. They come from the bullies of our lives, whether that be your parents or somebody on the playground, or possibly just even yourself. You know, the type A personalities who are very hard on themselves. And actually, they rarely see that they've done something good. And that's devastating for their self-esteem. And actually for your relationships too, because you're much more likely to tolerate BS in your life, as opposed to things that are helpful and positive. So, how can we get out of this? Well, one of the most important parts to do is to begin to love yourself, and that is no easy measure. It takes commitment and time, but it is possible, and it is actually fairly simple to do. One of the things you can start to do is to change your inner monologue. So instead of calling yourself names and saying negative things towards yourself on a daily basis, you need to start to love yourself. You need to start to say positive things to and about yourself. Change your prophecy and it will stop you falling for the negative. One of the things I always teach my clients is about neuroplasticity. This is where you can change the neural pathways of your brain through repetition. It's almost like how you would learn an instrument or learn to drive a car. When you first start, it's very abnormal because the pathways aren't there. But the more you do it, the easier it becomes because you have carved out strong neural pathways so that when you start the activity, you just know how to do it. It's like muscle memory. We do this with the things that we think about ourselves. So far too often, your immediate reaction would be to go to something negative. For example, if something goes wrong, it's because you're an idiot. If you make a mistake, it's because you're stupid. Now, these are just beliefs that we've got running in our heads. They make it no more true or real than anything else that you might say in your head. I could sit here all day and say, I'm a unicorn, but by the end of the day, I'm not going to become a unicorn. Just as much as me saying I'm an idiot doesn't make me an idiot. The problem is that you put more credence on the things that you say to yourselves than they deserve. And far too often, people end up working against themselves. If you're going to tell yourself a lie that becomes a belief, why are you telling yourself something negative? It's a good question, right? I've helped loads of people, and all of these people told themselves bad things about themselves. They are cruel. They're their harshest critics that they'll ever receive in life. You would never, ever say the things that you say to yourself to your friends, because you know that you wouldn't have any friends if you did. Yet you say these things, and you start to see your life begin to manifest because of these negative things that you say to yourself. They come as negative traits in our relationships because the way you treat yourself sets the precedent for how people are going to treat you. You think badly of yourself, so you get into a relationship with a person who matches that energy. This person also thinks badly about themselves because you're both resonating on the same energy basis. You can't attract somebody who treats themselves good because you don't treat yourself good. You set the precedents and you allow other people to treat you badly because of that template. Somebody who was on a high flying vibration and treated themselves well and respected themselves wouldn't get into a relationship with somebody on that level because they respect themselves to be with a higher caliber of person. And that's not cruel. It just makes sense. If you loved yourself, you wouldn't put up with a lot of the crap that you do from your partner. So why do you? Well, because you don't love yourself. So you allow them to treat you as badly as they like. And I've seen this habit become toxic, lifelong, codependent relationships, which are devastating to watch. Everybody on the outside can see that you two are not working well together, but because neither of you are healing and because you are allowing each other to use each other's bad behavior for validation, this causes you to enter into a cycle of abuse and unfulfilling unhappiness. And this is a life that nobody wants. So how do we fix it? Well, as I said, the first thing that you need to do is start to work on yourself. You need to step away from your negative traits, your negative self-speak, and the things that you say to yourself, and you need to begin to love yourself. This is a slow process, but it is quite easy and it is deceptively simple. Change the language that you use about yourself. Stop saying negative things to other people, to your friends, and to yourself. And you will begin to find that your self-esteem begins to soar. When you begin to feel better about yourself, you stop taking crap off people. You begin to say, I deserve more. And if it's your partner treating you badly, you will begin to move away from them because you deserve better. And yet, right now, you might be thinking right now in this moment, oh God, I don't want to break up with my partner. What would I do without them? Well, while that may be your present self speaking, the new you, the confident you, the loving, their self-fulfilled won't care. Because you don't want to be with somebody that treats you badly. Because you know that you deserve more. And when you start to work on yourself, you begin to see all of the negative things in your life fall away. It becomes like an avalanche, like one little rock begins this huge flurry that changes your life. And it's all positive, and I promise that you won't look back and think, damn, I wish I'd stayed with that idiot who treated me like crap. I can speak from personal anecdote that I have never, ever said that. And from all of the people that I have worked with in my life, none of them have ever looked back and thought, I wish I'd stayed with my ex that didn't treat me well. And you're not going to either. There are only a few things in life that we should recycle, guys, and that's glass, paper, and plastic. Other than that, stay the hell away from toxic people that you have allowed in your life before you had grown. You are going to grow into something fantastic. And if you take anything from this podcast, it is that you should never lower yourself to other people's vibrations. You should make them come up to meet you. And if they are willing to do the work and grow and rise up to meet you on your beautiful podium, then they are welcome to be a part in your life. Don't ever go down to meet them, because you will find yourself in a world of pain. You will start an avalanche of negativity because you accepted bad behavior in your life. And when you accept that, it sends out a statement to the universe and to your subconscious that you don't love yourself, that you are not worthy, and that you deserve the worst in life. And we know that none of that is truthful. So stop doing what you're doing and become much more passionate about loving yourself. I want you to use this technique. I want you to sit down when you're feeling good, and I want you to write down what your ideal life looks like. Right now. I doubt that it looks like an unfulfilling, unsatisfying, untrustworthy relationship, a crappy job that doesn't fulfill you, and unhappiness in generally 90% of your life, bar maybe a Friday night when you go out and get drunk. That is not what your life was meant to be. You are a beautiful soul having a human experience, and you are here to do the most wonderful, passionate things in life, and yet you're sitting here allowing yourself to be taken down by drudgery because you don't love yourself and because you're not connected to your source. So sit down, and I want you to write down your ideal life right now. Go and get a pen, and I want you to write down what you think your ideal life would look like. Perhaps it would be a respectful, fulfilling relationship with a man or a woman that loves you, that makes you feel whole, that makes you feel like you have come home and that you are worthy of the love that's being bestowed upon you. Perhaps it's a successful business that ensures that you make enough money that you can spend time with loved ones in a way that is morally respectful to yourself and in a way that's loving. Perhaps you want to build your own home instead of living in a flat, and you want to do it in an eco-friendly, environmentally friendly way. Perhaps you want to go vegan. Perhaps you want to run a marathon. Whatever you want to do, write it down. Show me and show yourself what your ideal life is. And when you begin to look at that ideal life, you will begin to realize that every time you choose destructive relationships, you are turning your back upon this ideal life. Because by choosing things that don't fulfill you, you will never grow and you will never walk down the path that leads you to the fulfillment that you deserve. By choosing destructive relationships in the moment that validate you, instead of working on your self-esteem, this ensures that you will always have bad self-esteem. It's a catch-22 cycle. You begin to feel bad about yourself, you date the wrong person, they make you feel better temporarily, but in the process of doing that, they abuse you. They abuse you because they also feel crap about themselves, and you use each other, you validate each other, but neither of you can get out of it until one of you turns around and says, I deserve better than this. You realize you deserve better than that because you begin to work on your self-esteem and make yourself feel fantastic. And when you feel fantastic, if somebody comes up to you and treats you subpar of what you deserve, you are in no way going to accept it. You're going to turn around to that person and you're going to say, how dare you? Do you not know who I am? Do you not know how fabulous I am? And no, it's not about narcissism and it's not about arrogance. It's about respect. Self-respect, self-love, and knowing what you're worth. We've got this weird little culture at the moment where it's all narcissism with no content. And those people who truly feel good about themselves are being looked at as being arrogant or big-headed. It's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. The narcissism that people fall for these days, taking selfies and getting likes on Facebook, on Instagram, is just paying into your low self-esteem. You want likes, reposts, and comments on your beauty or your brains or whatever it might be because you feel bad about yourself and you need validation from somebody else. If you felt truly confident in yourself, you could walk out there regardless of how you looked or what you felt like, because you know that you are a soul and you are worthy of everything that you desire, because you are a good person and you are a part of the source, the part of universe. You're part of everything. There was no judgment when you were placed here. You deserve the best. So stop validating yourself with negativity and unfulfilling relationships. Work on yourself and decide to have better. Turn your back and close the door on the things that don't fulfill you and open the door. Start the avalanche of self-love, self-progression. Create a self-fulfilling prophecy that you want. One that fulfills you, one that makes you feel good and that is full of love. Thank you so much for listening, guys. If you would like some help, feel free to get in touch. I offer a short free initial consultation to see whether or not we're going to work together well. And after that, I have a discount rate where you can buy 3 sessions together. If you would like to get in touch with some coaching, I am here to help you. And I will be your champion to ensure that you do the things that help you to fulfill your happiest in life. I've worked with many people over my life to ensure that they are getting the best out of themselves, and not one of them has ever regretted working with me. I've got some great testimonials online, so if you're interested, feel free to check those out via the Facebook page. You can see the links below. Please get in touch if you've got any problems. Leave a comment and I'll do a little podcast for you. I'll become your agony aunt for the evening. And my email is below if you'd like to get in touch in private. Once again, thank you for listening. I look forward to talking to you next week. Take care until then, and goodbye.